Oh, good morning. Now, I'm going to try to will myself into doing a project I actually don't want to do. And that's going to be changing the plugs and coils on my 355. I'd really like to drive it a little bit more before winter time. And right now it's got kind of a weird misfire. So I've got two sets of plugs. I've got the same Denso Iridiums I bought when I did the engine out, and I also have a set of just copper core plugs as well. Then I also have brand new ignition coils. If you guys watched my series on the engine out, you would remember that I put in new plugs, like I said, and I did a set of Kingsborn plug wires, which are kind of the favorite and the go-to for an upgrade or an aftermarket on the 355. So anyway, to do plugs, pull these two lid things off the sides. Those are 5mm Allens. And then the actual covers down there are 4mm, and there's a lot of them. So yay. Doesn't look like a lot of fun, but you know, I gotta do it. So that's those out. Next up, I'm still going to pull the little covers off the valve covers first. Got my 4mm and the smallest ratchet I can find. I'll get those off, we'll get the wires out, and check the plugs. So, plug wires look pretty good. It does look like there's a little moisture. I got into like the 2 and 3 on this side though. It's not ideal. It's actually wet inside, so that would explain a misfire. Definitely letting those dry out. There are supposed to be some paper gaskets on there. Oh yeah, look at that. That is wet in there. Huh. Alright, well what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna pull the other side. Wow, interesting. And let this one dry out while I'm pulling the other side. I really don't want water to fall into the engine, so just that that many bolts, you know, on each side. These refurbished covers that my buddy John did all those years ago, still looking excellent. Whew. Here we go. Well, this side looks like it fared a little bit better. Still showing a little moisture on the bottom. So I'm definitely still changing plugs, but I don't think the plugs are actually a problem. Oh yeah, that one's pretty rusty. Oh, so is that one. That one's alright. So the middle ones on both banks look by far the worst. Well, we'll let it dry out a bit, then I'll pull the plugs. Well, back at it a week later, just so it's all dried out. I was surprised to see that even though these spark plugs are absolutely tiny, they still use the 16mm standard socket that you see on like a BMW spark plug, for instance. So I'm going to whip all these out, we'll take a look at them, and hopefully nothing looks too terrible in there. So here we have the passenger side, definitely water getting in there. And then there's a new one of the same plug. These have just under 3,000 miles on them. So I probably should have just put the copper cores in, but I'm going to go with the iridiums yet. And then here is the driver's side. So definitely a lot of water getting in there, but I think the misfire was actually caused by the middle plugs filling up with water and getting between that and the plug wires. So I'm going to have to get a bottle brush and scrape around inside the plug wires a little bit, but next step is throw these in the cylinder heads and tighten them down. Well, plugs and wires are back in. Next up, I'm going to be going for these coils. They are original, and they are held in with, looks like 10 mils. So, yeah, just going to go one at a time and hope for the best. Actually, those might be 8 mils, come to think of it. So the original coil doesn't look too bad. Unfortunately, I'm not going to have the firing order sticker, I don't think, because that's a Ferrari specific thing, but I mean, these are working just fine. What I'm going to do though is I'm going to take my paint pen and I'm going to mark on this coil. Oh, actually, it does have the firing order on it. Interesting. I wonder if I pull the other one, if that's got 5, 6, 7, 8. That would be interesting to see. But either way, definitely the right part. And again, these are like $40 each, so not very expensive. Nope, they just put a new sticker on it. Same exact part. So good to know. Yeah. If you're curious what the part number is, there you go, 0221 503 407. And they're not expensive. So changing them out preventatively, I'm sure they're fine for the long haul, but since I didn't know about the moisture in the spark plug tubes at the time, I wasn't taking any chances. Okay, that's all done. So I'm gonna throw the coil cover things back on, and then the flank panels, fire it up and see, well, take it for a drive, and then see if the misfire has stopped. Fingers crossed. All done. Let's see if it fires up. There's always a risk it won't, but... That sounds good to me. Guess I'll move some cars and we'll take it for a drive. Well, it's all rectified. I just put 30-40 miles on it and it's just a joy. Even the air conditioning is still working, which is kind of cool. Not that I would genuinely use it, but it's nice to exercise it once in a while just to make sure it's still working. But yeah, I was thinking about taking this for some river road driving today, and then it kind of popped in my mind I haven't driven the E30 M3 very much lately, so I think I'm actually going to go get that. But misfire corrected. All right.